You were never trapped. You just forgot the door was always open. Not the door in your house, not the one in your job, but the one in your mind, the one you stopped looking for. Because the greatest prison isn't made of bars or walls, it's made of beliefs. And the most dangerous belief is the one that says, this is just how life is. From the moment we are born, we are handed a script. Be good, be productive, be normal, be realistic, and slowly, quietly, we trade in our freedom for comfort, for approval, for certainty. We stop exploring. We start obeying. Not because we want to, but because we're afraid not to. And that fear, it's disguised as responsibility, as maturity, as adulthood. But what if that's not maturity at all? What if that's just fear in a suit and tie? Because true maturity isn't conformity, it's clarity. It's the quiet knowing that you can live on your own terms, even if the world doesn't clap for it. But most people don't realize they're in a cage, because the cage is invisible. It's built from silent assumptions, like success looks like this, or people like me don't do that, or I have to keep going even if I'm miserable. These beliefs don't scream, they whisper. They hide behind words like should and must and have to. And the longer you live by them, the heavier your life becomes. Not because life got worse, but because you stopped asking who wrote the rules. Philosophers call this bad faith, living as if you have no choice, when in fact, every day is a series of choices you've stopped noticing. Sartre said, "We are condemned to be free," meaning, freedom isn't a gift, it's a burden, because once you know you're free, you can no longer blame anyone else. And that's terrifying, but also beautiful, because it means you're not waiting for permission anymore. Not from your parents, not from society, not even from your past self. You can change, you can pivot, you can walk away, right now. Most people think they need more motivation, but they don't. They need more truth. The truth that they're not stuck, they're scared. And fear, it's not a stop sign, it's a signal. It tells you where your edges are, and it dares you to cross them. But we don't cross them, we decorate them. We build a life inside our fear and call it stability. We make it look nice so we don't have to leave. But deep down, there's a voice that knows. It knows you've played small. It knows you've made yourself smaller to fit into boxes too tight for your soul. It knows you're capable of something wild and strange and beautiful. But you can't access that life until you drop the performance, the need to please, the fear of failure, the addiction to certainty. You don't need to blow up your life to be free. You just need to start telling the truth. The truth that maybe your job is draining you. The truth that maybe your relationships are built on pretending. The truth that maybe, just maybe, you don't even know what you want anymore. And that's okay, because freedom doesn't require clarity. It requires honesty. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to stop lying to yourself, because the moment you get honest, the cage starts to crack. The mask starts to slip, the soul starts to rise. And that feeling, that's not a breakdown, that's a beginning. We think freedom is loud, but often it's quiet. It's the silence after the lie leaves your mouth for the last time. It's the breath you take when you no longer have to pretend. It's the softness that comes when you realize you don't have to earn rest. True freedom isn't rebellion, it's return. Back to the version of you before the world told you who to be. Because freedom is not doing whatever you want, it's becoming who you are. That's why it's so rare. Because most people never meet themselves. They only meet their persona, the polite version, the successful version, the version the world rewards. But somewhere underneath all that armor, there's a human being who still knows how to laugh without performing, who still cries without explaining, who still dreams without editing. And the moment you remember that person, everything changes. Not because the world changed, but because your awareness did. Mirrors don't just show your face, they show your freedom. Because when you look into your own eyes and see someone you recognize, that's when you know you've returned. And it doesn't matter how long it took, or how far you wandered, or how many years you wore the wrong mask, because your soul doesn't keep score, it just keeps calling. And when you finally answer, you'll see the cage was never locked. You just had to remember you could walk away, not from your life, but from the lie that said you couldn't change it. You were never trapped. You just forgot you were free.